Have you ever been all set to move forward with a plan, like a good plan, only to have the Lord slam on the brakes and say, not yet? Waiting on God's timing isn't always something that comes easily to us, right? Especially when we don't get a lot of explanation as to why we're waiting. Or, Lord, how long are we waiting? In Acts 16, Paul had launched out onto his second ministry journey through the nations, and he had a plan. He wanted to head into Asia Minor, which is modern day Turkey. It's the perfect place to go to spread the message. It would be Ephesus, right? That made sense. The trade routes were there. It was a multicultural city, strategic connections. It's all lined up. In Ephesus, from Ephesus, the message could really spread. But on multiple occasions, the Lord said no. Acts 16, 6 and 7 tell us that the Holy Spirit prevented them from speaking the word in Asia. And when they went to take a different route, the Spirit of Yeshua would not allow them. I don't know about you, but when God says no to something that seems like an obvious yes, it can be really frustrating. And Paul must have felt that frustration too, but Paul submitted to the Spirit. And what Paul didn't realize was that the Spirit wasn't actually saying no. The Holy Spirit was saying, wait, not yet. I've got a better strategy, Paul. You just don't see it yet. So, stopped by the Spirit, Paul was redirected in a dream by the Lord. Instead of going into Ephesus, Paul found himself rerouted to Macedonia. And over 3 years, he ministered in many places like Philippi and Thessaloniki and Berea, Athens, Corinth. The Lord had people and places that he was preparing. But by the time Paul finally made it to Ephesus 3 years later, everything made sense. God had been setting the stage, weaving together a strategy only he could see. See, over the course of those first two journeys, on the first journey, Paul was planting congregations east of Ephesus. And during the second journey, Paul was planting congregations in the areas west of Ephesus. By the time the Lord would bring him to Ephesus, and he would be in this one place for 3 years, he would find himself dead center between the congregations he founded on the first two journeys. And with Ephesus being right at the heart of the trade routes, he could easily continue to communicate to those fledgling congregations during those 3 years in Ephesus, sending letters through couriers, strengthening, helping, guiding these maturing congregations. So what does that mean to us? Well, maybe you're facing a not yet moment. Maybe you're ready to step into something you've dreamed about, something you're convinced is from the Lord. It's the next step, but the Lord seems to be holding you back. Don't fight that. Trust that the Lord is at work, that the Spirit has a strategy. He sees what you can't. He's preparing not just the circumstances, but you. It's always smarter to wait on the Lord even when we don't understand, even when it doesn't make sense, because his no today might be setting you up for a wow tomorrow.